Now, where am I? Dundalk Castle. I think Dundalk just means Donald's Castle, or Donald's Pile, something of that nature. Oh, the only thing I know about this is that it was built by Robin II of Scotland. I'm going to read a notice board here. Old Auchen's House and the 10th Earl of Dundonald. All right. I guess this bit that you're going to see here was built in 1641. Right. On the land that was originally at the castle built in, well, going way back, 9th century, 15th century, something like that. Anyway, the Cochrane family was living at Auchen's House when Sir William, a strong royalist, was created Lord Dundonald by King Charles I. He was further honoured by King Charles II in 1669, now becoming Earl of Dundonald. There you go. The Auchens left in mid-1720s, but retained some property in the village, including Dundonald Castle. Right, I've just checked up on Wikipedia, see if I was right. And it was built by Robert II on his accession to the throne of Scotland in 1371. And it was used as royal residence by Robert II and his son Robert III. Have they no imagination? They could have at least called it Donald, couldn't they? Or they could have called themselves Donald. Or Dun Robert Castle. We're at Culzean Castle.
We are at Culzean
Castle. All right, but it's spelled Culzean. So why? Why is the Z? Where's the Z come from?
I have no idea, but it's Culzean. Definitely Culzean.
It's bloody hopeless, this Scottish spelling.
And it's very famous because Eisenhower spent time here during, and it has a big history, which I'm sure Lawrence will find out when he goes into the castle.
Yes, I hope so. Because as far as I can see, that's the only piece of history that it gives you. If you go to Wikipedia, it just says Eisenhower once was here, 1962.
No, he was here during the Second World War.
Second World War,
and
1942.
He was gifted part of the castle because of this, and that's why he came back in 1962.
Oh, right, there is a 1962, right. So there you go, Eisenhower once was here.
And there's a very famous portrait picture where the eyes follow you.
Oh, right. Of Eisenhower?
No, of somebody else.
Because that would make sense with that name, wouldn't it?
Those are medieval walls.
Okay.
This is the house at the place.
Okay, so this would be, that's not medieval though, is it? That's post?
Well,
medieval?
No, not medieval, but you know, what 1400s, 15.
Oh, okay, okay. And then this one is 18?
This is late start. The construction year starts 1770s.
Okay.
So the present here, you know, the position is defensive.
Yeah.
You're on top of the cliff.
Yeah.
That lovely sunken garden there is the remains of a defensive ditch.
Was it ever attacked?
Yes.
Okay.
But not by the English. More from
Why would they bother?
quite not even into this point, but more from the other family.
The other family?
All of our murderous lot around here.
So what was the family name at the
Kennedy.
time?
Still is.
The Kennedys.
Kennedys. Oh, okay.
Yes, there's different branches of the family, and they're
Yeah.
always stealing sheep and I mean, literally murdering each other. There's a man on the stairs with no sense. It's the oldest portrait we've got, at 1597. It says in the bottom, murdered.
I'm proud. It's amazing, thank you.
You're welcome. Enjoy walking.
Sure we will. Okay, well, we've got a really good guide out there who will answer any question that you have. And he said that the original family were from America, but they'd gone to America in the 1600s. They became very wealthy. They got property in Manhattan and elsewhere, and their address was 1 Broadway, which is like, I guess, 1 Mayfair over here. But they had problems during the Civil War of which side were they supposed to be on, because they weren't trusted. Yeah. So the first one, whose portrait is through there, the first Earl, he's got a British military uniform on.
Oh, yes.
So they didn't trust him in America. He was more of a colonialist.
Yeah.
Okay, and so they didn't trust him. So the family had problems. So in the end, they decided to come over here.
Oh, right.
Brought all their money over. They lost a lot of money.
So they came over in the 1860s.
Was it 1800s they came over? 1700s, yes.
So they were. Oh, right. So it was the American War of Independence, not the Civil War.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a war where you had to pick.
So they were loyalists.
And yes.
Yeah. So they came back here?
So they came here. Set up here.
And got Robert Adams, to design them a castle.
There'd always been a castle here.
Yes, no, but all this is designed by.
Yes.
This is
because they have money.
Yes, they replaced it with a family home, so to speak.
They came over as dukes.
Yeah.
And then he said the next generation became the first marquis. Oh, they were earls. Then they became marquises. Yeah. So he was obviously a very pushy American and wanted status. So he became a marquis. And then his brother died young and lost a lot of the money by gambling. The second marquis, whose portrait has him on a horse, the second marquis, he died by falling off his horse. Not long after that portrait was taken. And then the rest of the portraits in that room go through the generations to the current one.
All right. Well, I discovered a little bit of the mystery of why it's Culzean and not Culzean. As the people in the house there said, well, it used to be spelt with an L. And somewhere along the line, it started to be spelt with a Z. So they reckon it must be a misspelling or some convenience of the carvers in some inscription or something, and the Z replaced the 2 L's. Or something that looked like a Z replaced the 2 L's, and then it started being spelt that way. But nobody ever pronounced it that way. As you can see, Scottish llamas.
Good load of meat on that one, all right.
Yeah, in the kitchen there were some big skewers which you could get a llama on. Okay, here you are. This is just another one of those confusing things. It says in 0.6 miles you will find the birthplace of King Robert Bruce, the King of Scotland from 1306 to 1329. The iconic Turnberry lighthouse built in 1873, as well as the renowned runways that served the Royal Air Force during both World War II and World War I. The magnificent Turnberry lighthouse features the breathtaking views overlooking Ailsa Crag, Northern Ireland, the Firth of Clyde, Isle of Arran, and is the home of the resort's presidential suite, as well as the King of Scots restaurant, open to all visitors. Enjoy Trump Turnberry. God, there's a whole bunch of problematic ideas in there. Now the question is, which Robert? of Scotland. Which King Robert? Because there's a bunch of King Roberts there. Because Robert the Bruce, I do believe, was King of the Scots, and on top of that, he was born in Writtle, in Essex. So who was born here? It says King Robert of Scotland was born here.
Robert Bruce.
Yeah, King Robert Bruce, the King of Scotland. He was born in Writtle. He was born in Writtle, not here.
So this is a very wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we need to check. Perhaps it's a different Robert Bruce that was born in Britain.
No, the Bruce family was down there in Essex.
Have you read the Moss Line?
Yes, I know. That's terrifying, isn't it?
It is.
Yes. Trump Turnberry.
I told you I don't.
Now, this lighthouse was designed and built by Robert Louis Stevenson's dad. Needless to say, it fell into some disrepair, and guess who restored it to this pristine condition? Yes, Donald Trump. He's the guy that restored it. Isn't that somewhat terrifying? Well, it has to be said that the views are magnificent. Brilliant. If only Donald had stuck to building golf courses. They're not obviously are his forte. So you have to give him or his company credit for actually building a rather nice golf course. I'm sure everybody hates him for it. But there you go. No good deed goes unpunished.